15th century, cultural rebirth, renewal, classical interest, Italy to Europe, humanism, individualism, and secularism. Feature, intellectual aspect, classical learning revival, scientific inquiry, emphasis, human, humanistic philosophy, vernacular literature, development, artistic renaissance, Leonardo da Vinci, painter, inventor, and scientist, Machiavelli, sculptor, painter, and architect, Raphael, Renaissance master painter, artistic technique, perspective, realism, and anatomy, literary Renaissance, William Shakespeare, English play, Dante, Divine Comedy, Petrarch, father of humanism, printing press, Gutenberg, cause, feudal decline, trade expansion, urban growth, Byzantine secular and migration, and patronage system. Impact, traditional medieval idea challenge, modern thought foundation, scientific revolution, perception, and education democratization. Then the religious reform movement target Catholic Church evil practice. Result, Protestant Christianity emerge. Martin Luther King 95 thesis 1517 justification by faith alone. Bible translation in German and Lutheran Church established. John Calvin doctrine, predestination theory, Geneva theocracy, Presbyterian Church influence, Herz Zwingli, Swiss Reformist, radical Protestant reform, Jewish Reformation, cause, church corruption, indulgence sale, papal supremacy opposition, nationalistic sentiments, resistance, humanism influence, Catholic counter reform, Council of Trent 1545 to 63, Jesuit order establishment, and Inquisition strengthening and missionary activity expand. Significance, regional war catalyst, political fragmentation, and educational reform. American War of Independence 1775 to 1783, 13 colony versus British rule, taxation without representation, Boston Tea Party 1773, Intolerance Act 1774. And the event, so key event, Declaration of Independence July 4, 1776, drafter Thomas Jefferson, and document significance, and 13 colony independence and proclamation, basic rights, life and liberty, pursuit of happiness, military campaigns, Saratoga victory, twinning point, turning point, and French support acquisition, Spanish alliance, Yorktown surrender 1781, and late Cornwallis surrender. Revolutionary principle, national right concept, popular sovereignty, constitutional government, federal system, and separateness of power. Global impact, democratic ideas and spread, and constitutional monarchy challenge, French Revolution inspiration, and anti-colonial movement model. French Revolution cause, financial rising, social inequality, and enlightenment idea influence. American Revolution inspiration, revolutionary state 1, state general meeting May 5, 1789, 3-state system, conflict, voting right dispute, tennis court oath June 17, 1789, and assembly formation. Then the stage, so revolution and commencement, so Bastille fall 14 July 1789, and Great Fear period, feudalism, abolition, and peasant revolt, and oval immigration. Stage 3, constitutional monarchy, declaration of right, philosophical basis, Rousseau influence, constitutional adaptation, limited monarchy establishment, and moderate assembly power. Stage 4, reign of terror, royal arrest, republican proclamation, and Louis 16 execution, Mary Antoinette expansion, and Mary Antoinette and Robespierre leadership, and terror period end, and thermodynamic reaction. Then principle. So liberty, equity, and fraternity, popular sovereignty, secularism, and nationalism, and democratic right. Industrial Revolution 1819. Agrarian, industrial, feudal to capitalist, and Britain to Europe and the world. Tech innovations, textile industry, shipping, Jenny, water, water fame, and power Zoom, and Colton Green, and the steam engine. Transportation revolution, steam engine revolution, railway and, development, steamship and road. Then the metallurgy advancement, so coke smelting, pudding process, steel production, iron industry expansion, cause agricultural revolution, capital accumulation, natural resource availability, and colonial market, and scientific revolution, and population growth, social impact, urbanization acceleration, working class emergence, factory system establishment, child labor exploitation, and women workforce participation, economic consequences of mass production, market economy, banking system class, and international trade growth, and capitalistic consolidation, imperialism, political, economical, and dominance, and extension colonialism, direct territorial control, and new imperialism, late 19th century phase, and driving force, economic motive, and market raw material, political competition, and strategic concentration, cultural superiority, complex and technological advancement, Asian. So imperialism and colonialism, India Crown Jewel and EIC Crown Rule 1958. Then the Southeast China Sea, so Burma annexation, Malay control, and Singapore establishment, and trade route dominance, French Indonesia, the Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, and resistance movement, and cultural assimilation, previously Dutch East Indies, Indonesia control, cultural cultivation system, and spice trade monopoly, American Philippines, so Spanish American War, Philippines American War, and Commonwealth City, African scramble of Africa 1884 to 1914, partition principle, effective occupation doctrine, sphere of influence, colonial pattern, British colony, Egypt control, Sudan condominium, South Africa Union, East Africa Territory, French Empire, West Africa Federation, Equatorial Africa, Madagascar control and assimilation policy, German colony was Southwest Africa, East Africa, Cameroon logo, and World War First Laos consequence, and Belgium Congo, so Leopold II personal rule, and ruffle exploitation, and rubber exploitation, and humanitarian crisis. Then the resistance movement, so Zulu Wars, South Africa, and the Mahish Wars in Sudan, and Magi Magi rebellion, and Gunam Assi Africa, German East Africa, and Ethiopian independence maintenance, colonial administration, direct rule French model, indirect rule British model, settler colonialism, economic imperialism, impact assessment, economic exploitation, infra development, educational system, cultural destruction, political boundary creation. World War I cause alliance system polarization, imperialism competition, nationalism tension, assassination trigger, the uh, the Ferdinand. Then global theater, so trench warfare, technology revolution, massive casualty, economic mobilization, colonial involvement, Indian troops deployment, African campaign, resource extraction, loyalty demonstration, consequent political change, empire collapse, Ottoman, Austro-Hungarian, and German rendition. Then this new nation state emerged, and League of Nations, and ILO, and mandate system introduced, social impact, traditional hierarchies disruption, and woman role transformation, and class consciousness change, and demographic shift, economic war debt accumulation, industrial capacity expansion, and currency instability, and trade pattern alternation. Then the interwar period, the economic crisis, Great Depression 1929, unemployment surge, industrial production decline, agricultural distress. Then the political extremism, fascism rise, Italy, German militarism expansion, Japan, democratic institution strength and appeasement policy, decolonization beginning, and the nationalist movement strengthening self-determination principle, colonial elite education and international awareness gap. Then World War II impact, military dimension, total war concept, technological advancement, civilian targeting, genocide occurrence, and colonial participation, and the resource mobilization, military recommendation and recruitment, and strategic importance and liberation promise. Then the post-war transformation, decolonization, acceleration, and Euro power decline, UN Charter principle, Cold War dynamics, nationalist movement victory, international order, United Nations establishment, Bretton Woods system, human rights declaration, and collective security principle, ideological confrontation, capitalist versus socialism, democracy versus authoritarianism, and development model completion and non-alignment emergence, and principle of constitution. Then this we have the in Rajasthan, the prehistory, lower 5 lakh to 1 lakh BC, and Paleolithic is before 5 lakh, and the lower Paleolithic is 5 lakh to 1 lakh, middle Paleolithic is 1 lakh to 40 lakh in Luli Valley and Buddha Pushkar, and upper Paleolithic is 40,000 to 10,000 BC. Mesolithic, 10,000 to 5,000 Bagor, Dilwara. Neolithic 5,000 to 1,000 Bronze Age. Indus Valley 350 to 255. Kalibanga, Barar, and the Karampura, and the Chalcolithic, Ahad Banas culture 300 to 1500 BC, Ahad Ojiana, Gilund, Palathal, Panchmanta, and Ocher culture poetry, culture 250 to 2500 to 2000, and Ghane, the Jodhpur. Then ancient period 1500 to 700 AD, BC, Iron Age, Vedic Age 1500 to 500, and the Mahayana. This is the Mahakavya, Mahajanpad 500 to 32100. Then Matsya Kingdom, Northeast, Sursena Kingdom, Northeast, capital Mathura. Maurya 321 to 184 BC, direct administration. Indo-Greek 1 BC to 2 AD, Western influence. And Gupta 351 to 503 AD, Golden Age. Huna, the Vardhan, 500 to 700 transition period. Tribal republic, Malavas, Yodhaya, and Arjunas, and Kushan influence adjacent region, and Sak, Kshatrap, and Gujar Pratihar, 18th century. Then there is a medieval period 700 to 1200, Rajput ascendancy, emergence 700 AD, and period is 8 to 12th century, and regional kingdom 750 to 100, Pratihar, northern India, 1000 to 1200, Chalukya, Parmar, and Chauhan, Rajasthan struggle for supremacy. Then feature feudal, Jagirdari, local autonomy, and military organization. Administration system, we look at the example, Yadav in Karoli, origin, epic period Krishna, and migration, Mathura and Bayana and Karoli, and the Vijaypal in 11th century, 88th generation of Krishna. Then the central administration, the king, the first among equal, and the main pillar of the tent, and the feudal leader and village headman and panchayat. Then the khalsa is the land estate, so direct control in the estates, most common. And jagir is the to the noble or the grantees, so the revenue rights are there. Biswadari local official and service tenure. And Izara, so contract farming, temporary these. And Rakwali individual peasant, direct cultivation. Political economic, so British paramountcy established subsidiary alliance and princely state autonomy and national movement emergence. Then for the so the political amendment by the responsible government. Then the Kathak variation, so in Rajasthan, the performing art, folk dance like regional specific, so folk music, traditional instrument, and theatre, so Notanki and Tamasha. Then the handicraft and fine arts, so textile art and metal work and poetry, jewelry making and wood carving and stone carving. Then fair and festival, religious festival, seasonal celebration and trade fair and cattle fair. Then the tourism, historic monument, natural heritage, cultural tourism and adventure tourism and wildlife tourism, literature, Vijaypal Lasso, Nal Singh, religious social aspect, beverage stories and clan traditional and literary forms, so Rasso literature, devotional poetry, folk literature and court literature. So definite syllabus and rhythmic artistic work. Then the dialect, so Mewadi, regional distribution, geographical basis, cultural influence and historic development and literally traditional. Then the integration of Rajasthan 1947 to 1956, Indian Independence Act 1947, a section 8 abolished British supremacy and princely state secretariat July 5, 1947. President Sardar Vallabhbhai, Secretary VP Menon. Integration criteria: population greater than 10 lakh and revenue greater than 1 crore and eligible Mewad, Marwad, Jaipur and Bikaner. Challenge: communal dispute, geopolitical concern, West Front security, Jodhpur, Jaisalmer and Bikaner. And personal ambitious, so ruler reluctant to aid in any, want to free or the want more privy pearls and privilege are lost. And Mewad's reluctance and MB, so Maharana Bhupal Singh also have this meeting for this separate nation. Then the 7 states, so 18 March ABCD Matsang and 25 March 9 state Rajasthan Union. 18 March 49 Union Udaipur and Union Rajasthan. And then the 15 April 9 Jodhpur, Jaisalmer and Jaipur and Bikaner, so Greater Rajasthan. And 15/5/9, so the Matsya Union, so Greater United State of Greater Rajasthan. And 26 in January 50 Siroi in Rajasthan. And 1 November 1956 final boundary and modern Rajasthan. Heritage: Indo-Islamic synthesis, syncretic heritage, and this UNESCO, the Garmora and Kameri and Karoli and copper belt discoveries 1977 and microlith ancient tool. Then the saints, so Bhakti movement, Sufi movement and Jainism and contemporary spiritualism and leadership. Lok Devta, regional worship, folk traditional and cultural significance and festival association. Jagir, hereditary land grant to noble for military service. And Khalsa, so crown land under direct state administration. Lok Devta, so folk deity worship by local community. And Raso, epic poetry. Then this is we have the Indian history, so fine art evolution Indus Valley period, so Harappa script, undescribed and pictographic, and artistic element, seal, poetry, bones, and figures, and urban planning, grid system and drainage, Gandhar school, Greco-Buddhist influence, realistic feature and grey schist stone. Mathura indigenous red sandstone, special explanation and Buddha and Bodhisattva. Manu manuscripts of plan leaf and paper mandibus, and Rajasthani Mughal miniature and the Persian influence and realistic portrait. Nature theme. Then the Deccan school, Golconda, Bijapur and Ahmednagar, and Pahadi school, the Basoli, Kangra and Guled tradition, and modern art, so Bengal school, cultural nationalism and Abhinnath Tagore, Ibi Hall, living traditional, worldly Madhubani, Kankanwadi and Patya Chitra. Performing art, classical dance, North India, Rag and Tal system and rhythmic and the Gharana traditional. Then the Carnatic music, so South India, Kirti composition and Trinity composer. Then the elements, so Raga, melodic, Tala, rhythmic, and the Gharana, the school. So the classical dance, so Bharatanatyam, Tamil Nadu, Natya Shastra based, Bharat Muni. Kathak, North India, storytelling tradition, Odissi, temple sculpture inspired, and Kachipudi, Andhra Pradesh, the drama dance fusion, and Mohiniyattam, so Lasya style, and Kathakali, so elaborate costume, and Manipuri, so Vaishnavid theme, and Satriya, so Assam, the monastic traditional. Then the theatre development, ancient Sanskrit Dana, Bharata's Natya Shastra, medieval regional folk form, Jatra and Notanki, and modern colonial influence and Paraji theatre. Then the contemporary cinema evolution and Pavlovan cinema, architecture, Buddhist Stupa Sanchi, Chaitya Vihara, rock cut and caves and Janta Ellora, and Hindu temple, Nagara, Dravidian and Vestra. And the element are the Garbhagriha, Mandap and Shikra and Vimana, medieval Islamic, Indo-Islam fusion, local labor Indian Islamic direction, feature Ahar, domes, miniature, geometry and symmetric pattern, Qutub Minar, Taj Mahal and Red Fort, and regional style, Delhi, Sultanate, Mughal, and Deccan, Bengal, and colonial British period, and European classification, classical style, and Gothic revival, Indo-Syncretic fusion of Indo-Islam, Europe, Victoria Memorial Gateway, and literature, so Shruti, Ved, Upanishad, Smriti, Epic, Puran, and Sanskrit classic, so Kalidas, Bhartari, and Bhat, Tamil literature, Sangam poetry, Buddhist and Jain, and Pali Canal, and Prakrit text and Jatak tales, and medieval Bhakti poetry and saint tradition, and regional language, and Persian influence, and court literature and historic chronicles. Then the regional development, so Hindi, Bengali and Marathi and Telugu script, Hadappa undeciphered and pictographic, Brahmi, ancient Indian script, Ashoka edicts and regional Devanagari, Tamil, Odia and Bengali, and religion, so Hadappa, so the seal worship and proto-Shiva figure and mother goddess cult, and scared animal, bull and unicorn, and 5 altar and ritual bathing, and Vedic, early Vedic, so natural worship, and Indra, Agni and Varuna. Then later Vedic ritual complexity and Brahman text, Upanishad philosophical inquiry and Atman Brahman concept, and heterodox movement, so Buddhist, Gautam Buddha, 563 to 483 BC, 4 noble 2, Dukh, Samudaya, Nirbodh and Magga, cessation. Then the path of cessation. Then 8th part, right understanding to right concentration. Then the scam, evil scam. So the effort, view, intention, the livelihood, the samadhi, the concentration, the speech, and the action, and the mindfulness. Then the 3 schools, so Mahayan, Himyan and Vajrayana. First council in Rajgiri, second in Vaishali, 3 in Patliputra, and 4th in Kashmir. And Jainism, so Tirthankar, 24 Tirthankar, spiritual teacher, and Rishabhnath to Mahavira, principal Ahimsa, Satya, Asteya, Brahmacharya, and Aparigraha. Then sect Digambar and Shatambar, literature Agam, Prakritic text, Orthodox, Vedanti school, Avedant, so Sankar, non-dualism and Brahman Atman unity, Visishta Dev, Ramanujan, qualified non-dualism, Advait, so Veta Dev, so Madhvacharya, dualism, Mimamsa school, Purva Mimamsa, Gemini, Vedic spiritual interpretation, and Uttar Mimamsa, Vedant philosophy, medieval regional movement, so Bhakti, South India, and Alayan Vaishnavite and Nayanan Shivite, North Indian spread, so Ramanand, Kabir, Nanak and Chaitanya. Then these characteristics of devotional worship, Varnagul literature and social reform, Sufi movement, order, Chishti, Suravati and Qadiriya, Naqshbandi, and practice Sama, music, meditation, and the service sent Moinuddin Chishti and Nizamuddin Auliya, 1800 to 1857, colonial administration change, Charter Act 1813, 1833 and 1853, Government of India Act 1858 and Crown Rule establishment and economic policy, permanent settlement 1917 1773, Revised Mahal Valley system and communication of agriculture, commodification of agriculture and the industrial decline and the deindustrialization and major rebellion. So Vellore Mutiny in 1806, revolt of 1857, cause consequence tribal uprising Santal Munda, constitutional and political, so 1858 to 1947, Government of India, 1909 Mandamento, 1990 Montesquieu Chessford, 1935 provincial autonomy and federation. So in 1990, so the autonomy at center and 1935 autonomy at state. Then round table, so first 1930, second 1931, third 1932, Communal Award 1932 and Pune Pact 1932. Then the post-independence 1947, 69 political consolidation. So integration of princely state, linguistic reorganization, democratic institution building, and 5-year plan initiation. Then international relation name, so Panchsheel, mutual respect, non-aggression and non-interference and equality and benefit and peaceful coexistence. Sino-Indian War 1962, Indo-Pak War 1947, 1965. Then Indian national movement, early nationalism phase 1885 to 1907, and INC, feuded whom moderate leader Dadabhai Naoroji, Gopal Krishna Gokhale and Surendranath Banerjee, method petition, prayer and constitutional editation. Then the achievement, so economic critique and political awakening and extremic 1905-1918, radical leadership, leader Lal Balpal, method Swadeshi, boycott and national invasion. Then the petition of partition of Bengal, Rajasthan movement, reunification 1911, Gandhian 1918 to 1947, Satyagraha, Champaran 1917, indigo cultivation, Kheda 1918, tax resistance, and Ahmedabad 1918, meal worker rights and non-cooperation 1920-22, Khilafat support and civil disobedient, Salt March and Dandi 1930-1934, individual Satyagraha 1940, war opposition, Quiet India movement, August resolution, and revolution movement, Bengal, Anushilan Samiti and Jugantar, and Punjab, Gwadar party and Qatar Saraba, and Maharashtra, Chapekar Badar and Vasudev Balwant Phadke, and overseas, so Indian House, London and Berlin Committee, regional contribution, Swadeshi movement, so revolutionary activity, cultural resistance and literally awakening. Punjab, Gadar movement, Akali movement, Jallianwala Bagh massacre and the partition segregation, and Tamil Nadu Justice Party movement, self-respect movement, anti-Hindi agitation and Dravidian politics and emergence, and Maharashtra social movement, reform movement and revolution activity and cooperative movement and the industrial revolution. Then the social religious reform, so Hindu reform, Brahma Samaj, Ram, Raja Ram Mohan Rai, principal monotheism and renounced reason and social reform. Leader Devendranath Tagore and Keshav Chandra Sen, reform sati abolition, widow remarriage and female education. Arya Sharma, so Dayanand Saraswati and back to Vedas and reform Shuddhi movement, Hindi promotion and Guru Kala, Gurukul education and literature. Satyarth Prakash. Then the Ramakrishna Mission, Swami Vivekananda, 1897, philosophy, universal reason, service to humanity, impact, sister, prevalence of religion, 1993, activities, education, healthcare and disaster relief, theological society. So the H.P. Blavatsky and Henry Okot, so India, unibasant and the principal, so Universal Brotherhood, comparative religion and education, Central Hindu College in Banaras, Maharashtra Maratha Samaj, M.G. Ranade, rational thesis and Satyagraha Samaj and Jyotiba Phule, anti-caste movement, women right and Pandita Ramabai and window welfare and South India self-respect movement, E.V. Ramaswamy Nayakan and Sri Narayan Dharma Pariparna and Paripalna and Narayan Guru and Vokaliga Sangh and Karnataka caste reform. Then the Islamic reform, Aligarh movement, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, Muhammadan Anglo-Oriental College 1835 and objective Muhammad modern education and vicious loyalty, impact Muslim political awakening, Deobandi School 1866 UP, Orthodox Islamic School Muhammad Ghalib Nanotani and influence traditional Islamic scholarship, Ahimsa, Ahmadiyya, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad and reformist interpretation, spread international and missionary activity. Sikh reform, Sikh Sabha 1873, Amritsar, Sikh identity preservation and Bhai Veer Singh and Gyani Dil Singh. Then achieve Gurumukhi script promotion and Sikh literature. Akali movement, objective Guru Dwara reform and method Satyagraha, peaceful resistance and the result Sikh Gurudwara 1925. Accession of the princely state, integration, instrumentation of accession, defense, foreign and communication and Patel, state integration minister. Then the three category, Indian Union, Pak and independence. So problematic case, Hyderabad, Kashmir and Junagadh, and major operation, Operation Polo, Hyderabad integration 1948, Kashmir tribal intervention and military intervention, Junagadh popular uprising and plebiscite. Constitutional provision 913 and 370. So special status to Jammu Kashmir, 371 special provision for several state. And princely PV First 1971, linguistic reorganization, language principle, cultural linguistic identity and Congress promise, and linguistic province post independence and Ghar committee 1948, rejection linguistic basis and JVP committee 1948, oppose immediate reorganization, Andhra movement Potti Srimalu and first unto death and Andhra state and first linguistic state 1953, Telugu speaking and canned from Madras. Then the State Reorganization Commission 1953, CM Fazal Ali, KM Panikar and H.N. Kunjuru, report 1953. So 14 state and 16 entity, state reorganization 1956. 1956 new Kerala and Karnataka and abolition of ABC state language basis primary criteria adopted and expansion Punjab revolution delayed. Bombay division 1960, Punjab 1966 and northeast multiple new state and latest Telangana in 2024. Then the administrative state in administrative integration. So ICS, IAS and AIS unified service and judicial in so SC apex judicial authority and SC state level jurisdiction and unified judiciary and constitutional provision and constitutional framework union state distribution and emergency provision, national state financial and amendment provision and procedure, and flexibility with rigidity and FR, so individual liberty provision.